Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare
Hare Krishna, dear devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to our Gurudev. Guru Maharaj is extremely tired after the very, very intense Sadhu Sangha retreat. And so I have been requested to give the class as well as host this call. Everyone is really, really tired after that. So please bear with us. So we will pick up where we left off yesterday, which is chapter 12, verse number 2 of Canto 1. So what I will do is I will do screen share. Let's see. Srimati has given me screen share or not. I don't know, but I think she may have because she asked me to post this call. Yes, there we go. So we are on Canto 1, chapter 12, verse number 2, which we began the chapter yesterday. And so we will just continue. Emperor Parikshit is born. Very great devotee of the Lord. So please first let me offer my respectful obeisances to all of you. Welcome to His Holiness Candramauli Swami Maharaj's daily call. My most humble obeisances to all the Vaishnavas. So thankful for your wonderful association, for your mercy. Please give me your blessings so that I can serve you nicely and speak something beneficial, most of all to myself, and hopefully to all of you. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha, kripa sindhubhya evacha, patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Om namo bhagavate vasudevaya. Om namo bhagavate vasudevaya. Om namo bhagavate vasudevaya. Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jaya mudirayet. Nashtaprayeshva bhadreshu nityam bhagavate sevaya. Bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtiki. So we are now going to read this particular verse, which I hope everyone can see. It goes like this. Tasya janma mahabuddhe karmani cha mahatmanaha nidhanam cha yathaivasit sapretya gatavan yatha. Translation. How was the great Emperor Parikshit, who was a highly intelligent and great devotee, born in that mood? How did his death take place? And what did he achieve after his death? The sages at Naimisharanya are asking all these questions to Shukadeva Goswami. Purport. The king of Hastinapur, now Delhi, used to be the emperor of the world, at least till the time of the son of Emperor Parikshit. Maharaj Parikshit was saved by the Lord in the womb of his mother, so he could certainly be saved from an untimely death due to the ill will of the son of a Brahmana. Because the age of Kali began to act just after the assumption of power by Maharaj Parikshit, the first sign of misgivings was exhibited in the cursing of such a greatly intelligent and devoted king as Maharaj Parikshit. The king is the protector of the helpless citizens, and their welfare, peace, and prosperity depend on him. Unfortunately, by the instigation of the fallen age of Kali, an unfortunate Brahmana's son was employed to condemn the innocent Maharaj Parikshit, and so the king had to prepare himself for death within 7 days. Maharaj Parikshit is especially famous as one who is protected by Vishnu, and when he was unduly cursed by the Brahmana's son, he could have invoked the mercy of the Lord to save him, but he did not want to because he was a pure devotee. A pure devotee never asked the Lord for any undue favor. Maharaj Parikshit knew that the curse of the Brahmana's son upon him was unjustified, as everyone else knew. But he did not want to counteract it because he knew also that the age of Kali had begun and that the first symptom of the age, namely degradation of the highly talented Brahmana community, had also begun. He did not want to interfere with the current of the time, but he prepared himself to meet death very cheerfully and very properly. Being fortunate, he got at least 7 days to prepare himself to meet death. And so he properly utilized the time in the association of Shukadeva Goswami, the great saint and devotee of the Lord. Sorry, in the beginning I said the sages asked Shukadev Goswami. That's wrong. That's a different pastime. Shukadev Goswami, Sudha Goswami is a different pastime. Here the sages of Naimisharanya are asking Shaunak Rishi. This is another pastime where the sages are asking Shaunak Rishi these questions and Shaunak Rishi is replying. Okay. So we are coming back to Maharaj Parikshit. Now Maharaj Parikshit is a greatly powerful emperor. He is the emperor of the whole world. And he has ruled the citizens very nicely, very appropriately. In fact, he took this personality of Kali so seriously, he was ready to kill him because he was beating the legs of the bull. He wanted to drive him out of his kingdom. So that's how strict Maharaj Parikshit was. But because Lord Krishna had left, the age of Kali had begun. And the cursing of this Brahmana boy was actually the beginning of the degradation of the Brahmanas, because he had used his power unduly in order to take personal revenge. This is not actually appropriate behavior for a devotee of the Lord. But the Brahmana misused his power. He was a very, very powerful son of a very powerful sage. So though he was a little boy, he was very powerful. So he cursed Maharaj Parikshit. Now, how did this happen? You see, Maharaj Parikshit was out hunting. And while hunting, he became extremely tired, thirsty, and hungry. And he chanced to come upon Shamika Rishi's ashram. Now, Shamika Rishi was a very powerful transcendentalist. And at that point, when the king entered his ashram, he was not in external consciousness, being fully absorbed in his meditation on the Supreme Lord. Therefore, his mind, senses, all his energies were focused inward, and he did not know anything of what is happening on the outside. So when the king came over there, looking for some water, to quench his thirst, looking for, some hospitality, he saw this sage, wrapped in meditation, and he called out to him asking for some water. The sage couldn't hear anything. But Maharaj Parikshit, being so thirsty, so hungry, so tired, he couldn't understand that the sage is not deliberately insulting him. He took it as an insult, that being the king, I'm the king, he's not offering me respect. So becoming very angry, not able to slake his thirst or quench his thirst, he saw a dead snake lying over there. He lifted that dead snake and put it around the Rishi's neck like a necklace. Shamik Rishi. This was actually unexpected because Maharaj Parikshit was not a person to behave like this. It was out of character for him also, but the circumstances were such that he was so hungry, so thirsty, and because he was not given proper reception, he got annoyed, he got angry, and he reacted like that. Actually, all this is the play of the Lord because he wanted to bring his devotee back to him soon. That's why he arranged for all these things to happen. And therefore, Maharaj Parikshit accepted the curse also. We'll see that. So what happened was, the king went away from there and ran back to his palace. But after going to his palace, he began to feel bad. This is the sign of a devotee. Sometimes we lose our temper, we misbehave, or we say something inappropriate, or we act rashly, impulsively. But devotee at heart is basically a very good-hearted person. And he regrets it, even if he does something wrong. He feels bad. Oh, why did I say like that? Why did I behave like that? So the king started reflecting and saying, maybe he never meant to insult me. Maybe he was really so deeply lost in meditation that he didn't hear me and I should not have done like that. But it was too late. This is what happens when we do things impulsively. It's too late to retract it. Meanwhile, Shamik Rishi's son, Shringi, had come to know what had happened. And becoming very infuriated with red hot eyes, he decided to curse King Parikshit. He touched water and he pronounced the curse. Who does this king think he is? He dares to come inside the ashram of someone who is his superior, and he uses very harsh words. And to eat like a dog from the master's plate, who does he think he is? I will curse him. Within 7 days from today, he will die due to the bite of a snake bird. This is a very heavy curse that he pronounces on King Parikshit, Maharaj Parikshit. But when the king hears it, he actually takes it as an opportunity. Very good. I have 7 days. I will now prepare myself for death. This is a true Vaishnava. This is a real devotee. He understands that when the end comes, I want to be Krishna conscious. And therefore, I must practice now. At least I've been given 7 days. Let me put it to good use. So Maharaj Parikshit, instead of lamenting, quarreling with this one or that one, or trying to figure out how can I counter curse, or how can I counteract this, what should I do to, reverse this, he just accepted it immediately. And he said, okay, what next? What should I do? How should I make full use of this opportunity to become Krishna conscious? The very great personality, isn't it? Under such severe provocation, to think like that tells you the caliber of Maharaj Parikshit, how elevated he was in his consciousness. Being a pure devotee, he could have asked the Lord to protect him from this curse, but he did not. He did not ask, because devotee doesn't like to ask for anything for himself. If he asks for something, it is for the service of the devotees. It's for the service of the Lord. And so therefore, he did not want to ask for any reprieve. Neither did he want any escape. Neither did he want to be saved. On the other hand, he wanted to become Krishna conscious. And so he decided to go onto the banks of the Ganges, or was it the Yamuna, and fast unto death until that time when the snake bird comes. But meanwhile, he wanted to hear from Shukadev Goswami how to become fixed in devotion to the Lord. He asked him, what is the duty of a man about to die? What should he remember? Whom should he worship? Please tell me what he should do and what he should also not do. He asked all these questions to Shukadev Goswami because he knew that curse is going to manifest in 7 days. The snake bird will kill me and I will be dead. But his son Janamajaya was very angry. We'll see later on that he then performed a yagya in which he started killing all the snake birds, all the snakes. One by one, the snakes were forcibly pulled into that fire and killed. And then he had to be stopped from doing that. So Janamajaya got so angry at how unfairly his father had been cursed and sent to death because of a snake. But King Parikshit, even though he knew it was unfair, he accepted it, and he also knew the age of Kali has begun. I don't want to interfere with what is happening. In fact, I want to go back soon, back to Krishna. So he prepared himself to meet death very cheerfully and very properly. This is very significant to understand. Srila Prabhupada says that Maharaj Parikshit at least got 7 days. We don't know if we have even 7 minutes. Death can come any moment, any moment. And therefore, Srila Prabhupada wanted us to always be in a state of preparedness by chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And devotee doesn't waste time trying to take revenge or counter curse or retaliate or justify or hanker or lament or anything. Devotee just accepts everything as the will of the Lord. Here's a very beautiful verse which I want to share with you, because I was thinking this shows the character of this greatly powerful personality, King Parikshit. See, it says over here, the devotees of the Lord are so forbearing that even though they are defamed, cheated, cursed, disturbed, neglected, or even killed, they are never inclined to avenge themselves. This is very important to understand, because this whole world is working on the principle of retaliation, taking revenge, hurting back 10 times more. Oh, he did this to me, I'll teach him a lesson, this, that. No. King Parikshit said, everything happens by the will of the Lord. I will accept it. So there's a beautiful purport. Shamik Rishi knew that the Lord does not forgive a person who has committed an offense at the feet of a devotee. The Lord can only give direction to take shelter of that devotee. He thought within himself that if Maharaj Parikshit would counter curse the boy, he might be saved. That means who might be saved? His son. But he knew also that a pure devotee is callous about worldly advantages or reversals. As such, the devotees are never inclined to counteract personal defamation, curses, negligence, etc. As far as such things are concerned in personal affairs, the devotees do not care for them. But in the case of their being performed against the Lord and his devotees, then the devotees take very strong action. See the difference? When it comes to protecting the Lord's deity form, books, paraphernalia, his name, fame, everything, devotee is very strong. Or when devotees are also under persecution, devotees become very protective. But here it was a personal affair. And therefore, Shamik Rishi knew that the king would not take counteraction. Thus, there was no alternative than to place an appeal to the Lord for his immature boy. Shamik Rishi is worrying about his son because he pronounced that curse. It is not that only the Brahmanas are powerful enough to award curses or blessings upon the subordinates. The devotee of the Lord, even though he may not be a Brahmana, is more powerful than a Brahmana. But a powerful devotee never misuses the power for personal benefit. Whatever power the devotee may have is always utilized in service towards the Lord and his devotees only. See the beautiful character of a devotee. A real devotee always acts in such a way that he becomes everyone's well-wisher. He never wishes evil or harm for anyone, even his enemies. He only wants the best for everyone. So Maharaj Parikshit in that spirit did not counter curse, did not react, did not retaliate, did not want to seek revenge, did not bemoan his fate, did not hanker or lament, oh, what's happened, now I have to give up everything, I have to die, I'm in the prime of my youth, I have my beautiful wife and my treasury and my palace and my gold, and no. He was instantly ready to give up everything to prepare for the highest perfection of the human form of life, which is becoming fully Krishna conscious. I will share with you some pastimes. We'll stop the share just so that I can see everybody. It would be nice to see my God family. If you can put on your cameras, it would be nice. Anyway, so when Srila Prabhupada was performing his ending pastimes on this earth planet, he had become very ill. He had become very emaciated. He had become very thin. And he was like a skeleton almost, So when he was traveling from place to place on his way to Vrindavan in London and all different places on the way back to Vrindavan, devotees were looking at him and getting shocked because they had not seen Prabhupada like that. Until this time, Prabhupada had been very vigorous, very energetic, would outpace them in the morning walks. They had to run to keep up with Prabhupada, by the way. He was an old man, but he was full of energy, more energy than the youngsters put together. So when they saw Prabhupada like that, having to be carried in a palanquin and so emaciated, they were shocked. And Prabhupada, seeing their reaction, told them, don't think this will not happen to you. Don't think this will not happen to you. Prabhupada made it very clear that every one of us is going to go through this procedure called death of the material body. This is going to happen to each and every one of us sooner or later. It's coming. The fact that we have taken birth in this material world means death is coming. Death of the body. Soul is, of course, eternal and never dies. But we are talking about the finishing of the material body, which is heading for death. So he said, don't think this will not happen to you. And he wanted us to be ready. He wanted us to be prepared. He was constantly telling, attain Krishna consciousness before it is time to give up your body. Become fully Krishna conscious. Attain the highest perfection of human life, because this is the loophole through which we can escape the cycle of repeated birth and death. We have taken birth many, many times, my dear spirit souls. We have taken birth so many times, we do not even remember. Just as a indication of how many times we have taken birth, I will tell you the smallest number we have definitely taken birth. It is 8,400,000 times. Why do I say that? Because our soul has gone through all the species of life and has now come to the human form of life. So minimum, we have had 8,400,000 births. Now, after coming to the human form of life, how many births we have taken back and forth, we don't know. But at least we have had a minimum of 8,400,000 times birth and death. How many more times we want to do this? Something to think about, isn't it? So devotee feels disgusted with this material world. This material body is a diseased state of mind, a diseased state of being. Having a material body means diseased condition of life. We are not meant to be in a material body and confined like this. This is our prison uniform. This is a prison cell in which we are stuck. We are trapped. Our soul wants full freedom, full happiness, full joy, full peace, full love, full everything. But it's not possible in this limited body to do anything. We can't enjoy what we can enjoy with our limited senses. We can't enjoy. Prabhupada says, you want to enjoy? Go back to the spiritual world. That's where you can really enjoy. Here you can't. Your senses are limited. How many rasgullas can you eat? How many clothes can you wear? Even if you change clothes every 1 hour, still only 24 sets of clothes you can wear. And who has time and energy for changing like that so many times? How many places can you go to and see? Wherever you go on the surface of this earth, there's birth, disease, old age, and death. There's no escaping that. Even the richest man has to grow old. Even the richest man has to die. During this COVID, some extremely wealthy person, he contracted COVID. And they took him to the most sophisticated hospital and they're willing to spend millions of dollars and all. Couldn't be saved. All his money couldn't save him. He died. So money cannot save us. Position cannot save us. Fame, glory, position, political connection. Nothing can save us from death. Death is written. It's in our destiny to die, having taken birth over here. But we can utilize this human form of life as a devotee in such a way that we do not have to take a material birth again. We can go back to the kingdom of God. We can get our eternal spiritual body back, even while we are here in this material world, in this material body. Yeah. Which is that verse in Bhagavad Gita, 14:20. Let's see if I can pull that up for you. In that, Srila Prabhupada says, devotee can drink nectar even within this life, by attaining his pure spiritual form. Let me see if I can get that up and running for you to see. 14:20. Yes. Gunaneta natityatrind dehi deha samudbhavan janma mrityu jara dukkhair vimukto amritam ashnute. When the embodied being is able to transcend these three modes associated with the material body, he can become free from birth, death, old age, and their distresses, and can enjoy nectar even in this life. See, this is a very beautiful purport and something to meditate on. How one can stay in the transcendental position, even in this body, in full Krishna consciousness, is explained in this verse. The Sanskrit word dehi means embodied. Although one is within this material body, by his advancement in spiritual knowledge, he can be free from the influence of the modes of nature. He can enjoy the happiness of spiritual life even in this body, because after leaving this body, he's certainly going to the spiritual sky. But even in this body, he can enjoy spiritual happiness. Haribol! Thanks to Srila Prabhupada. Thanks to our Gurudev, thanks to the mercy that they have given us. In other words, devotional service in Krishna consciousness is the sign of liberation from material entanglement. This will be further explained in the 18th chapter. When one is freed from the influence of the modes of material nature, he enters into devotional service. So, Being engaged in devotional service constantly is the answer. This is our way out of the entanglement of the three modes of nature, because devotional service does not belong to this material energy. It is the spiritual energy, the internal potency of the Lord. So as long as we are engaging in devotional service, we are not even touching the material energy. That's why Srila Prabhupada is always saying, chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Immediately chanting the holy names of the Lord puts us on the transcendental platform, because these sound vibrations are coming from the spiritual world. Chanting is devotional service. Chanting is the highest form of devotional service in this age of Kali, because it is the Yuga Dharma for this age. Whether we chant all by ourselves or we chant in Harinam Sankirtan, this is what is most dear to Lord Chaitanya and is most pleasing to him and gives us remembrance of Krishna. Ultimately, what we are asked to do, always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna. Always remember Krishna. What is the easiest way to always remember Krishna? By chanting Hare Krishna. Krishna has given himself to us in the form of his holy names. And therefore, we are all encouraged to chant, 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 chant. At least 16 rounds every day on the beads without fail. Especially those of us who are initiated, we have taken this vow. And those who are aspiring are encouraged to chant 16 rounds every day. Minimum. And of course, the point is to keep increasing the chanting. When Srila Prabhupada was asked, what do you get from this chanting? And Prabhupada said, more chanting. What do you get from chanting? More chanting. Because you develop taste for the holy name. The soul is chanting Hare Krishna 24 hours. The soul is always chanting, always glorifying Krishna. So we have to practice and reach this point, because Srila Prabhupada says ultimately all these procedures and practices that I have given you is to get you to the point of chanting Hare Krishna 24 hours every day. 24 hours. That's the point we are supposed to reach actually. 24 hours a day chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. So it's not so easy. We have to practice. So tomorrow is a very wonderful day. Tomorrow is Nirjal Ekadashi. You're supposed to fast completely from grains and beans and even water, especially if you have broken the fast. So many of us who do try to take advantage of this day, try to increase our rounds. There are groups now which are going to be chanting 64 rounds, some are chanting 48 rounds, some are chanting 120 something, I don't know, all, fantastic number of rounds. Personally, I'll try and do as much as I can, but basically the point is take advantage of Ekadashi. It's the mother of devotion and it's the day on which we are supposed to fast anyway. So the only way to stop, at least speaking of myself, to stop thinking of food and water for me is to chant. That's the only way I can do it. So chant, 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 and don't say can, because this is the way to remember the Lord, which is what Parikshit Maharaj did. He attained the highest perfection of life. He fasted completely from food and water. He simply was absorbed in hearing the glories of the Lord from Shukadeva Goswami. Maharaj was asked, do you want any food? Do you want any water? And he said, no, I just want to keep hearing more and more and more about the Lord. Tell me more, tell me more, tell me more. And his intense absorption in what was being spoken enlivened Shukadeva Maharaj to speak more, speak more, speak more. So like this, 7 days and nights went on. And finally, Maharaj Parikshit had reached perfection. He was fully ready when the snake bird came. He was not afraid. And he gave up his body remembering Krishna. And there are so many stalwarts in our movement. Don't think this happened only in Maharaj Parikshit's time. Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj, he left in the middle of Kirtan. Gaur Govinda Maharaj, he left as he was speaking the pastimes of Gopal Jiu. He sat back and he said, I cannot speak anymore now. Till that point, he was speaking the glories of the Lord. And he just sat back, said, I cannot speak anything more. And he gave up his body. Like this, there are so many great devotees who are Srila Prabhupada. He was preaching till the very last day, till the very last hour. He was dictating into the dictaphone the translations of Srimad Bhagavatam. And the final hours, of course, that was when he was leaving his body. So, and even then, he was in full consciousness. The Kaviraj said, anybody else in this situation would be screaming in pain. I don't know how Prabhupada is keeping his life as going. He was just skin and bone by that time. Skin and bone, there was nothing left. So even in that painful situation, Prabhupada was fully Krishna conscious, like Bhishma Dev. He was like a warrior on the battlefield. So these are all great examples. And we may feel very daunted by hearing these things. Oh my gosh, where I am and where these great personalities are. That is true. We are very small. We are very weak. We are powerless. We are getting so much affected by this, that, and the other. But if we practice, Krishna will help. Krishna is very merciful to his devotee. He's very kind. He knows how difficult it is for us. And so he's always ready to help his devotee. And we will find little by little by little, we are making progress. And that gives us hope, isn't it? Last year, I was having so many anarthas. At least 5 of the anarthas have gone. Still 25,000 are left, but at least I got rid of 5. We can think like that. Because compared to what we were last year, we are not the same this year. So like this, we can make progress little by little towards the goal of the human form of life, which is to become fully Krishna conscious and go back to Krishna, never to take birth here again. Janma karma cha me divyam yo janati tattvataha tattva deham punar janma neti mam eti so Arjuna. My dear Arjuna, one who knows the transcendental nature of my birth and appearances never takes birth in this material world again, but comes back to my abode. Krishna promises this. So all we have to do is follow the 4 things Krishna has said. Manmana bhava mad bhakto madhyajimam namaskuru mam evaishasi satyam te pratijane priyosimi. Always think of me, become my devotee, offer your homage to me, worship me. Thus you will come to me without fail. I promise you this because you are my very dear friend. So Krishna is giving us this promise. I promise you this because you are my very dear friend. And Prabhupada himself said, I have the key to the back door. I will let you in. So all we have to do is please Gurudev and please Prabhupada, and we can get in through the back door. Okay, so thank you all very much. You listened so patiently. I'm so grateful to you for that. I'm just a little neophyte devotee. I don't know so much, to be honest with you, all these big topics. But somehow, because Gurudev wants us to speak and he has ordered me to give class, that's how I'm having the guts to speak and give class. Actually, I'm not qualified, but I'm doing it as a service to all of you. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. You can open up for comments, questions, realizations. Anybody would like to say something?
Hare Krishna, Sridevi Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Shilpesh Prabhu. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Prabhupada. All glories to Gurudev.
Accept mine as well, Mataji. I was reflecting on yesterday's class, and I think you spoke about it today as well, about how Maharaj Parikshit just accepted the curse, and it's not about sort of trying to remove it or get revenge or anything. So, yesterday we talked, I think it was Drona's son who launched a Brahmastra weapon, yes? And he was forgiven. First, he was forgiven, but he still went ahead and launched it. So we talked today a lot about forgiveness, like we need to forgive people and that. But in this case, it worked the opposite way. So I'm just trying to understand the logic behind this. Like, yes, we forgive people, but then if they carry on committing their sins, as it were, then what?
Right. So that is why taking shelter of Krishna is always the answer under all circumstances, because people are unpredictable. As you said, we might forgive them and we might think, okay, we are patched up, we are friends. And again, they will stab you in the back, or they will do something, unexpected, unpredictable. We never know what people are going to do. We have no idea. This material energy is so constituted that even a moment's forgetfulness of Krishna can land one in the most calamitous situation. This is Guru Maharaj's words. So for devotee, whether the persons behave properly, don't behave properly, do the things right, do the things wrong, we are concerned with what we are doing. And we are concerned with doing things right no matter what other people are doing. So devotee forgives. Why? Because it's good for him or her to forgive. We do the forgiveness for ourselves. It doesn't mean you condone or ignore or pretend it didn't happen. You know very well they've done something wrong. You understand very well they did something wrong. You don't gloss over it or ignore it or pretend, but you forgive them for your own good. It releases you from the desire to take revenge, to retaliate, to curse, to this, to that. It sets you free. You're no longer thinking about that anymore. It's no longer, bothering you all the time. You're free to go ahead with your own life once you're forgiving the person. That's why we forgive, for ourselves.
Thank you. Yeah, that's helpful to clarify that.
Thank you. Nice question. Forgiveness is a very broad topic. It's a very big topic also. Mahatma Prabhu does a whole seminar on this, I think it's available online also on YouTube. If you search it, you will find that. I'm not mistaken.
Sure. And it's nice to see that in the wider world, people are talking a lot more about forgiveness today. Like you said, like you can burn for the rest of your lifetime and the other person doesn't even remember what they did to you, but it's just within you.
Yeah. So many times people do things and they don't even know that they have done it. Their fund does unknowingly. We are feeling bad about it and they don't even know what they have done.
Thank you.
Yeah. Spiritual life, razor's edge, not so easy. That's why we need Gurudev. That's why we need the mercy of the senior devotees, who will guide us, who will help us, who will teach us by their own example, by their instruction. We can't do it on our own. That's not possible. It's like a doctor saying, I'll go to the shop, buy all the medical books, study it at home, I'll become a doctor. Is it possible? No. Similarly, spiritual life means taking instructions from the Guru, from the teacher, from sadhus. Like that. Kava Mataji, you want to say something? You unmuted yourself?
Yes.
Hare Krishna. All glories to Prabhupada.
All glories to Guru
Was it
Maharaj.
all right, Srikesh Prabhu? Okay, thank you.
I just wanted to say thank you so much for the class. It was really wonderful. From Silpesh Prabhu's question, I can say something which I heard from sometimes ago from Amrinder Prabhu's class. Amrinder Prabhu said that we all have tipping point. We can only bear up to certain thing, and then we can't. We just react to the situation so easily. But we should keep an example of Prahlad Maharaj on in front of us all the time, because Hiranyakashipu did every single thing to kill Prahlad Maharaj, to irritate him, to annoy him. And Narasimhadev tried so much to see whether Prahlad Maharaj, whatever he's preaching, he's practicing or not. And finally, Narasimhadev appeared just to help him out, because Prahlad Maharaj actually stick to what he was preaching. Like whatever he was saying, he was believing. He has full faith in Krishna. So Amrita Prabhu mentioned that, it is like going to the martial arts school. We learn defending. And the teacher always, whenever we are practicing, the teacher tries and hit us as well, like, to improve our defense, how much we can defend and how much we have learned, we are applying it or not. So Krishna is like that martial art teacher. So he's saying that he's trying us, whatever we are learning, are we practicing as well or not, so if you are a student of martial art and you think that, oh, the teacher is always hitting me, trying to hit me, I'm not going to go to that school. That's not going to help you, because you're not going to learn martial art then. So it's similar in this life. If you are learning Krishna consciousness, Krishna will always keep on trying you. That, oh, are you following it? And nothing comes without Krishna's permission in this life. He knows exactly everything, whatever is coming to us. So he was saying that we have to accept it as Krishna is sending this to us, not that person who is behaving as an instrument of Krishna. Then we won't get any offense towards that person. And it's easy for us to forgive that person. We can't forget, but we can forgive that person, because if we think that it is coming from Krishna is trying us, then it becomes easy. So sometimes it helps me. I'm not saying every time, but when it is like the situation, after that I keep on thinking that, oh, it is from Krishna. So nothing wrong with that person. The person is just an instrument of Krishna. He or she is behaving because Krishna is asking them to do it. And Krishna is trying us. So let's make sure that we follow the instruction and do it.
Right.
Hope that.
Yes, very good point. That we must pass the test. This person.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a test for me. And I must pass the test by remembering Krishna. Because you're absolutely correct. Prabhupada also said, do not be disturbed by the instrument of your karma. Not a blade of grass stirs without the sanction of the Lord. So everything that is happening by his will.
Yeah. True.
Very nice.
Our karma, which is to us as well. So we have to accept it. And we have to prove ourselves. If we can, then we can see Krishna.
Hariva! Well said. Thank you. Thank you so much. Nice point.
Thank you.
Scarlett Mataji, you have your hand raised. You have something to say?
Yes, Hare Krishna. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and all glories to Guru Maharaj and all glories to you all. And thank you for this class.
Please accept my humble obeisances, dear Scarlett Mataji. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Gurudev, and all glories to you and your service of distributing books. In spite of so much personal challenges, health challenges, you're still going ahead and trying to please Prabhupada. That is wonderful.
It's a wonderful book, so that's why I'm doing it. I'm going to do it now also, so I am little in a hurry. So there is something that I somehow have difficulty to understand it, and that's, I know about I have studied and learned about Parikshit Maharaj, why it happened, he got the curse, and I have also studied and learned about many of rishis, also has a very short temperament and just curse just like that. And what I have difficulty to understand is why did these curses came to happen, even because the person, for instance, the person did something unknowingly, didn't know it, didn't do it on purpose. It was not because this person was bad or demon or anything. Did it something, some mistakes without any kind of bad thinking. But still, this person gets cursed of Rishi. And that makes me to wonder, how come still this curse has to happen when this person did unknowingly, didn't do it, and this person have been doing the service, being good devotee, loved and worshipped the Lord Krishna, still the curse happened to this person. So what I don't understand it. You know what I mean? I don't question it, but I don't understand it. Is there anywhere that I can read or study and learn about it?
Yeah, keep studying and reading Srimad Bhagavatam, because in that everything actually becomes clear. It may seem unknowingly that this has happened, or for some small minor thing this happened, but there's always a deeper reason behind. For example, Kunti, she was doing such nice service for Durvasa Muni, he gave her a boon. But being very playful as a young girl and, curious, more out of curiosity, she decided to test the mantra. And guess what? The sun god comes and says, I have to give you a child now. That is what I'm bound by this boon, to give you a child. And she says, no, go away. I'm not married. I'm still, young virgin girl. If I get pregnant, there's going to be a big scandal. No, go away. I don't want, I just made a mistake.
Yes.
Sun god, I'm helpless. I'm bound by this boon to give you a child, but don't worry, your virginity will be intact. The baby will be born from your ear or something like that.
It was Karna, right? It was Karna.
Yeah, Karna.
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Now, what is Karna's fault in all this? But she abandoned him. She immediately put him in a wicker basket and sent him afloat in the ocean. What was his fault? He was born out of wedlock. He was in that sense, because she was not married to the sun god, and yet she gave birth to a baby boy. It was not appropriate, and so she immediately cast him adrift. Right? You will say, oh, what is Karna's fault? What has the baby done? We don't know. I personally don't know Karna's previous life and what happened to him before, why he had to take birth like that. But like this, there are so many instances in the Shastra where seemingly for no fault of the child or no fault of the person, they're cursed or something happens, where Ganga, she threw 7 babies into the ocean, one after the other, Shantanu's 7 children. But they were actually bound to finish up their karma in a very short time. And that's how that happened. On the face of it, it's like, oh my God, she's throwing all the newborn babies into the ocean, right? But to take birth for a very short span of time in the material world, finish up their karma and go back. That's how that happened. So like this, we don't understand if we just see that one incident. But as we read fully, then we get the context, we get the understanding of why the things happened the way they happened.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, keep reading. It will be beneficial. There is no pat answer for these things. You have to develop understanding by reading more. Thank you. Nice question. Shilpesh Prabhu?
Yes, sir. The question Scarlett asked, I asked exactly the same question to my mentor. Why do the Brahmins, they're supposed to be these realized souls, and why do they just curse people just like that? And I think my mentor explained it's like a speeding up of karma for the people involved. So the Brahmins sort of knows why they are cursing someone, so they can speed up the other person's karma, and they can go through the purification they need to do in maybe the error that they made. So it's something like that explanation, but I don't know.
Nice answer.
I'm so sorry. Please forgive me. I have to go. As I said, I'm going to do book distribution. So please forgive me. I go to earlier today. Okay.
Wonderful. There's nothing to forgive. We're very happy. Please distribute many books. Haribol. All glories to book distribution. Haribol. So if anyone else has any other remarks to make, now is the time. Or if there are no more questions, no more comments, no more sharing, with everyone's permission, we can end the call. So it looks like there are no more questions. I will stop the recording. Is that okay with everyone? I don't see any hands raised. So you will stop the recording. Okay, here we go. Yes. So thank you all, dear devotees. Thank you so much for your valuable association, your valuable input, your feedback, your comments, so valuable for all of us to learn and to grow together. Hare Krishna, Jai Srila Prabhupada, Jai Guru Maharaj. Till we meet again tomorrow. Hare
Thank you,
Hare
Mataji. Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you. Hare